Turning now to Capitol Hill, where the clock is ticking to avoid a government shutdown that could cut critical services and impact paychecks and much-needed benefits for federal workers, military families, and millions of low-income Americans. Lawmakers have just 30 hours to reach a budget deal, and if they don't, the government will partially shut down after midnight Saturday. The biggest impact will be on millions of low-income families who live outside Washington. Critical food benefits for them could be suspended, and Head Start child education programs would lose federal funding. And millions of American military service members and federal workers would lose their paychecks. That means federal law enforcement, Border Patrol, prison guards, air traffic controllers, all going unpaid. But you know who will get paid? Members of Congress. That's right. NewsNation's Joe Khalil is live with us tonight with more on the looming government shutdown. Joe, it doesn't look like they're going to reach any kind of an agreement before the deadline tomorrow night at midnight.
Looks like a real mess right now, Elizabeth. I think you're right about that. You got House Republicans fighting with other House Republicans on a bill that would temporarily fund the government, avoid a shutdown in the House. In the Senate, you've got another bill that would temporarily fund the government, avoid a shutdown, that has bipartisan support, but it's not being taken up by the House. Meanwhile, while all of that is happening, you've got a number of Americans who are now concerned that if a shutdown happens and it lasts long enough, it could inflict some serious pain.
The bill is not passed.
With another failed vote in the House on a temporary government spending measure, the Congress and the country now bracing for what seems like an inevitable government shutdown.
I don't want a government shutdown. Food safety will be, in essence, in jeopardy. Law enforcement will not be paid.
Unless Congress comes together on a solution, the government will shut down Saturday at midnight. Critical services like SNAP and welfare benefits for low-income families will likely stop going out. Federal employees like TSA and border agents will have to continue working without a paycheck. And because Congress failed to pass a bill funding the Department of Defense, active duty military members will have to go without pay as well. Tens of thousands more federal employees could be furloughed.
People are really worried about just keeping up their day-to-day expenses when they're not getting a paycheck.
Democratic Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin says her constituents in Michigan worry about making ends meet if a shutdown goes from days to weeks. She says Speaker Kevin McCarthy has a choice to make.
Does he want to do what's the right thing for the country, for real people, or does he want to just save his own skin and save his own job by being beholden to 15 or 16 extreme members of his own party?
Much of the disagreement that's led Congress to the brink is between House Republicans themselves, the party failing to agree on spending levels, the more conservative wing, the Freedom Caucus, refusing to support anything short of 100% of their demands. The dispute leaving the party split, frustrating some Republicans like Dan Crenshaw.
When you don't play as a team, and you don't make your demands clear ahead of time, like we wanted to do with the border, you're just going to lose. And so they made us lose. It's like they wanted us to lose.
The Senate has its own version of a temporary spending bill that House Republican leaders refuse to bring up for a vote.
Would you sit here and ask me the question, why don't I surrender and just go with the Senate and ignore the problem? Is that the question you would ask? I pledged in taking this job to change Washington, to stand up for the American public.
An animated Speaker McCarthy argued the Senate's bill doesn't cut enough spending, nor does it have enough border security. Neither side of the Capitol blinking, the stalemate plunging the country closer to a shutdown.
Elizabeth, I've talked to more than a dozen lawmakers today in the House. Many of them tell me they feel like at this point shutdown is inevitable. I want to talk about those military families for a second. We heard from another congressman that about a third of active duty military families don't have more than $2,000 as savings to fall back on. So if this shutdown lasts for quite some time, that could really be painful for those families in particular.
Yeah, Elizabeth. Absolutely. In years past, when we've had these government shutdown dances, so to speak, They had already passed a defense spending bill, so the military wasn't impacted.
Yeah.
This time they are. This time they will go without paychecks. And as you just pointed out, many of them have very, very little savings. Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.